We already on one. It's gonna be a fun week this week. Welcome to Kicking It with the Brothers. Our man is Charles, the Barca boys. Shout out to Deion and Cali doing his thing. And my man, my boy X, is first official Champions League transfer window, because this is how big teams move. This is how we're supposed to move. I'm glad for you though, X. You didn't have to live through the Wenger days like me, brother. My man said we had no money to spend. All we had to do was just make top four 20 years in a row. But the glory days about to be back, brother. So welcome to the Arsenal. We here. How's your week been, brother? How you feeling? Crispy?
Good. Now that Rice is finally on board, Timber, you know what I'm saying? Underrated signing of the entire transfer window. I'm feeling great. You know what I'm saying? Havertz, life is good.
Yes, indeed. Charles, we have Arsenal has officially signed Declan Rice for 100 million pounds, 100 million plus 5 million on the add-ons. Deep breath, breathe it in. Yes, sir.
I'm just really. It wasn't until this moment I realized that this has become an Arsenal pod.
Okay.
And it's like the thing that makes this pod at this moment, much like this squad, like mediocre. It's just no excitement out of this. Cool, y'all. Like, it doesn't matter. I still think you guys are finishing third. We can talk about this shit till we're blue in the face. I don't think it makes a difference. I'm glad that y'all finally got the paperwork from one side of England to the other. Y'all
Who
finally
got second? Liverpool?
Huh?
Liverpool?
Are we
midfielders?
Let me not say those.
I'm glad y'all got like the fourth or fifth best midfield signing in the EPL this transfer window.
I'm sorry.
Give or take.
Ireland's finest.
Give or take.
Look, I'll tell you this.
Connor's cousin.
And it ties into our second topic, but it is all related. If Party leaves, then I agree with you, Charles. But if Party stays, then she's going to get ugly for the rest of the Prem. You know what I'm saying?
105 M's on a dude, and all of a sudden we worried if the old man leaves?
Well, no, it's because our problem was we didn't have enough depth in the midfield. So when Partey was injured or playing poorly, we suffered the consequences. And Xhaka left. Like, y'all can clown him, but he was really good last year. So essentially, if you're swapping out your two central midfielders and just replacing them, you really haven't added any depth if Jorginho and fucking El Neni are next up. Now, Jorginho played well, but you don't want, with Champions League, you don't want him having to start. So if it's a 2-for-2 swap, then I agree with you. We haven't taken enough of a step forward, because I don't think the gap between Rice and Partey at the beginning of the season is that significant. And I do think there's a drop-off between Havertz and Xhaka. So I can't argue that would considerably be better. But if we have Partey out there, and there's some games where we could start him next to Rice against like the cities of the world and the top six, the top sixes in the league, then I think that's a different conversation. And then we could kind of rotate in Havertz and Champions.
Chelsea and Tottenham aren't in this conversation, dog. You good?
Yeah, we stink.
For this side.
But that's how we just said the truth.
Tottenham and Chelsea are big right now.
We stink.
And look, we can say what we want about Party, but I don't know if pronounce his last name, whatever, Partey. But part of the reason why he fell off is because we didn't have any backup for him, right? So if he doesn't have to start 38 games and he maybe has to give us 20 to 25 starts, I think we'll get more of the best version of him. And
he's leaving.
You know what I'm saying?
He's gone.
Why? Who do you think he's going to? First of all,
Saudi Arabia.
Juventus?
Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. He's gone.
He's not going to start.
He's gone. He's not going to sit around and be a backup to some white boy that's worse than him. Just because y'all seen the English flag next to his name.
I don't think we should sell him.
The Irish flag next to his name.
Hey, don't let Caicedo get sold this week, because that just moves right down the list of signings. He's already third. He's already at best the fourth best midfield signing in the EPL.
Deion, can I ask you a question?
Huh?
If Arsenal loses Partey and yet we get Caicedo,
you're not getting Caicedo.
That's not what I asked you, but I just asked you a question.
No, I don't need to answer the question, because it's fan fiction. I'm done doing fan fiction with you.
Why is it fan fiction?
Because Caicedo's going to Chelsea. Fabrizio basically said it today. It's basically a done deal. I'm done with the fan fiction with y'all. That's
If you
what
look at
y'all
what
do. You
James
get on
Manning-
here, you do fan fiction like the fucking Pornhub comment section. I'm done with this shit. No more fan fiction. Miss
Look,
me with all that. You're
I
not getting
agree with you.
Caicedo. Next question.
I agree with Deion, but let me explain the logical reason why. I think most Arsenal fans were convinced, like, look, if we can get off Partey for like 35, and then we can sell off Balogun for like 35, that's Caicedo. We're not getting Caicedo. You know what I'm saying? We're just not. You know what I'm saying? And the Athletic reported that we burned bridges in January with Brighton when we insisted on them. So even if we have the money to spend, that's not to say that Brighton is just going to hand them over. Like, they're going to play fucking hardball and they're going to price us out. And Chelsea easily can step in and bid more than us. So I think there's a 0% chance that we get Caicedo, even if we move off Partey and Balogun for like decent money. So I agree with Deion. I don't think there's any chance that happens.
Arteta don't even think they're getting Caicedo. Arteta, they're asking Arteta about the rest of the window, and he hesitated on all the buys. He goes, "But we can sell, folks."
I asked you a question. You answered
No.
it. Appreciate it. That's fine. Thank you. Move on.
That wasn't a question because questions come from reality. That was fan fiction.
It was a question.
No,
And
it wasn't.
just like Declan Rice was fan fiction in January, and yet he's with my team. So
But he stinks. Like,
He doesn't.
enjoy. He's not that
And,
good.
and we were saying that if he was going anywhere, he was coming. We literally
That's
not true. He was
months
scheduled
ago.
in January to go to Chelsea.
No one told y'all you were getting Declan. We said you're not getting Declan and Caicedo. You're not.
Okay.
It was
That's
one or
fine.
the other. You chose the wrong one. Congrats.
We'll see. No problem. We appreciate that.
Hell, y'all chose the wrong a million people. It's a million midfielders better than the dudes y'all brought in. McAllister, Madison.
Okay, let me ask Charles, because I know what side of the fence you on, Deion. Are we talking actual football, or are we just being sensationalists for the sake of comedy and entertainment? Because if we're talking actual football, then Deion's statements preposterous.
No,
but if we just want to battle and talk shit, we can do that.
No, I've told y'all a million times. One, like, I can't do this shit with the English fans. Like, everyone's like, oh, he's English, he's this, he's that. And then when England bottoms out in every fucking competition, it's everybody else's fault besides the players. These players from England are not that good. Starting with the fucking number 9, that's our striker.
But okay. I don't want to be the dead horse, but we agree that their fucking manager.
All I'm gonna say is we're sitting there talking about, you guys what you could have done for Caicedo. You could have taken the money you spent for Havertz, your man, your poster boy behind you, literally your poster boy, and you could have gotten him with that money. But instead, you set it on fire to sign Germany's finest.
With the Declan money, they could have got Madison, Caicedo, and gotten close to McAllister.
So here's okay. So I've been doing some research. No, listen. I'm not going to sit here and say that I thought Havertz was a phenomenal player last year because I didn't.
Thanks.
But in doing research and everything here, both sides of it, I see the vision. On offense, whenever Xhaka had to come into the box, like he wasn't that great of a playmaker. He wasn't great at shooting. He wasn't really great at scoring. You know what I'm saying? And when he was making those runs into the box, he didn't really pose much of a threat. If it's Havertz making those runs into the box, his height, his physicality has a different dimension. Now, in terms of the physicality, we were there, City. What happened anytime we try to go long, or teams would try to go deep on us? You know what I'm saying? Zinchenko would get bodied, and then on the other side of the fence, fucking Gabriel, Jesus, and everybody else, they were getting bodied by bigger defenders. I think Havertz gave us the height and the length to where if you want to go long that side, I think he has a level of physicality to where, no, he may not be the greatest defender, but he gives us something that we were lacking. And it was a clear and obvious fucking hole in our system. But look, he doesn't have to be a phenomenal defender because we're going to dominate possession. And I think that's where Declan helps us. And I think that's where Havertz is going to help us. And so I see the vision.
When you said you heard both sides of like who was the other side, because no one thinks
the Chelsea fan. The Chelsea fans like, yo,
Chelsea fans are happy he's gone.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
bro, they threw a parade.
No, I agree. But they asked him to be a 9. He's not. We can agree he's not. Like, I can agree. Jesus is not a 9, right?
Who is the other side though? Who's the side that thinks?
No. I'm just sitting here watching you, bro. None of us we got to sit here and go. None of us think Kai Havertz is good. Like, I hate to listen to you sit here and talk.
I said that, but I said
know
that.
you don't think he's good.
I just said that. I just said I see the vision. I see he's coming in to play a particular role. Now, if Arteta's wrong about his ability to fill that role, then that's going to look like a fucking disaster, right? But I see a vision of what he's trying to do, some of the holes that we had. Because let's be honest, like for a team that dominated possession as much as we did, our attack felt kind of flat when we were in the opponent's last third because Jesus is not a natural fucking 9. And unless it was Odegaard making shit happen, we didn't really have a lot of playmaking, feeding, setting our people up. That's why when somebody
so what you're saying is you didn't upgrade it at a 9 position because you don't have a natural 9. You spent money on a player who's actually plays at the 9 is not good at it. And then in doing so, you missed out on the midfielder that you actually want to go with the other midfielder you just spent money on. That sounds like good business to me.
You think all right? Look, we don't.
Would you take Caicedo if you could pick between having Caicedo or having Havertz? Which one would you take?
Caicedo.
We couldn't get Caicedo in the winter, Charles. They wouldn't sell him. We offered.
Is it November?
They said
my calendar wrong. Is it December?
I said January. We offered. That's the
well. That's where I'm confused.
Okay,
my computer says.
Are you going to
July
talk?
17th?
You want to keep talking, or you want somebody?
No.
This
sounds like some more fan fiction.
Can I say my point? It's not fan fiction. I'm saying we couldn't sign him. The team wouldn't sell him. We can't.
So you didn't go back to it?
We can't.
They're about to sell it.
They're
going to sell it.
So we went.
Yeah, but I just said we burned bridges. So you assumed that the negotiating process with us was going to be as smooth as it was going to be with somebody else. If we burn bridges because they're like, yo, we're not going to sell, and we made 3 fucking bids for the motherfucker, and they're like, yo, fuck you, we're not selling him, and we kept upping it up by 5 mil every time, then they may just be like, yo, fuck you, we're not selling Caicedo to you. We might sell him to somebody else, but we're not going to sell him to you.
Charles, like you can
players get. I literally just saw half the team get sold from fucking Chelsea to Arsenal. I see them niggas. So don't sit here and tell me that fucking
million
teams that don't. I'm just saying we're talking about teams that actually don't like each other. So sell players between each other all the fucking time, Jorginho included. And you're sitting here telling me that because Brighton was in their feelings, they like, come on, man.
They literally told us that.
All the question I asked was, did you guys go back this summer and ask again? That's all I said. I was more curious.
For who? Caicedo?
We did.
For Caicedo.
We checked in with his according to the Athletic, and David Ornstein knows this shit. This is not fan fiction or some Arsenal aggregator. He said that when the bid, pretty much like when City stepped in and they were like, and the bid number was kind of like in question, we checked back in with Caicedo's representatives, not with Brandon, but with his representative, be like, yo, is he still open to the move? And what they heard was like, yeah, he wouldn't be opposed to it, but clearly like he has his eyes set on Chelsea right now, but he's not saying no to you guys. But at that point, Caicedo knows that he's playing B, and they're like, "Yo, fuck you." You know what I'm saying?
At that point, you had already signed Havertz, right?
No, not signed. There was interest because it was the beginning of
no, that more fan fiction. With what X is saying,
no, I'm trying to tell you from the beginning. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not tripping off what you're talking about, bro. I'm not tripping off what you're talking about. I'm talking to X. With what X is saying, when City stepped in, you guys had already had Havertz. That was like a done deal. Yeah. I don't think it was like announced, but like it was all agreed.
Havertz had nothing to do with Caicedo.
But that might be why Caicedo was like
early on.
No, but I'm saying like that might be why Caicedo was like, back and forth. Like no Havertz and Caicedo might have been open to the move.
We did not target our priority list was not Rice, Caicedo, Havertz. It was Rice, Havertz, Caicedo.
That is not true, X.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh no. Deion, stop.
Not true. It's not true. I'm telling you, they reached out to Caicedo. They reached out to see, and they told them $300K, bro, a week.
But we reached out. But reached out to
Caicedo.
Reaching out to personal representatives is not the same thing as reaching out to fucking Brighton and saying, "Yo, what's the number?"
So we reached out. There's 2 different things. There's 2 different things, though, X, and that's what I'm trying to explain. There's getting the contract with the representatives, okay? Correct. And then there's actually seeing what is available with the team. And what I'm saying is that Arsenal, you're right, they did check in with the representatives, but they talked to Chelsea at the same time. And what the representative said is that he's going to be offered $300K a week from them. And we weren't willing to meet that number. Brighton was pissed off because we kept going to his people and saying Caicedo's agreed to terms in January, which he did with Arsenal. But Brighton said, we're not selling any of them. Just like
what were the terms he agreed to?
So what you're saying, you're agreeing with me, Mal, because essentially by telling Caicedo's people, we're not matching 300. What we're telling him is you are plan B, and we are not willing to meet plan A prices for your salary demands. But hey, we want to keep in touch as a plan B. So Caicedo's like, I'm going to go to where they are prioritizing me. I am plan A, and I'm going to get 300K a week. So no, we did not prioritize Caicedo over fucking Havertz. That did not happen.
We prioritized Rice over. It was Rice. I'm trying to talk about
Rice, Havertz, Caicedo.
No,
I don't know why we're talking about January.
So
that's where the relationship broke off with Brighton. Brighton got so pissed at Arsenal because we tried to get Caicedo even at the last moment. We tried to up the team so that we could hopefully win the league. We couldn't do it because Brighton didn't sell him to us. And then we had to go to Solskjaer the last day and to go to Jorginho.
So, right. Whatever. All
right, bro.
What you're saying is, I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, that's whatever.
I'm trying to understand.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
This is what happened. Because we strained the relationship between Brighton and Caicedo to the point where they went to Caicedo and they upped his salary for this season and said, look, we know you want to go to Arsenal. We know we're not fucking selling you this season. And we know that part of the reason you want to go is for higher wages. What we'll do, we'll throw you a fucking bone. We'll give you highest wages for this season. Maybe not to Arsenal's level, but we'll give you some more salary this season. And then with the promise that we'll sell you in the summer, right? So now that's to make amends between Brighton and Caicedo. But when it came to the summer, there was nothing that we did that said we were prioritizing Caicedo over anybody else. He was always a default option. And that is what Deion is saying. Now he's saying where we fucked up is that we should have prioritized Caicedo over Havertz. But what we actually did was we said we want Havertz, we want Rice, and we want Havertz. The vision that Arteta sees is in order to have Havertz, we need somebody like Rice next to him. They were always in Arteta's mind tied together. And if Rice for some reason fell through because we had no plan B, it's like, all right, well at that point we'll check in with Caicedo because we know that if push comes to shove, he would come here, but obviously there'll be some barriers there. But it was always Havertz and fucking Rice. That was a company that Arteta envisioned the entire time. And that's what Deion is saying.
It feels like, low key, like if you look at the way the summer played out, it low key feels like you prioritized Havertz almost over Rice. Maybe not in terms of the player, but like in terms of knowing you could get a deal done easily and swiftly. Like
we got ahead of ourselves because I guess they were like, yo, we're going for broke. We're bringing in Rice. And now if we didn't bring in Rice, we'd be royally fucked. You know what I'm saying? Which is why last week when it was like, oh, well, did they reach out to Pep and be like, hey, Pep, you should make an offer so that our ownership could release? No, you don't let the wolves into the sheep's den. You know, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But contrary to what we all said last pod, he chose us over City. He did. Because the reason that City made an offer that was, in terms of money, very similar, there was no difference. It was like, look, if he communicates to us that he wants us, then we'll up the offer. But I think that Rice communicated to City, like, look, my preference is Arsenal. And so that's why City could have blown us out of the fucking water.
Wasn't it 80 plus 10?
Regardless, it was in the ballpark.
City offered 75 plus 15, and we offered 80 plus 10. It was literally the same.
But you guys settled on 100 plus 5.
Correct, because City didn't go and match the offer.
That's a pretty massive difference.
But correct. I'm saying that their first offer. We're talking about our second offer versus City's first offer.
No, I'm talking about City's offers versus what West Ham accepted.
But even
City's best offer was 75 plus 15.
They stopped.
Yes,
because we came.
But the percentage of money that City would have paid out in the next 18 months was significantly higher than Arsenal would have paid out. And so technically, even though it seemed like it's a $5 million difference, it was a more favorable deal to Brighton because they would have got more money in the next.
But it's a damn $25 million difference. What are we talking about? 5?
No,
75 plus 15 versus 100 plus 5.
No. I'm saying that at the time, even though it seemed like City didn't bid more than us, it was a more favorable structure than Brighton. And what we did is say, okay, fuck it. We're going to make our intentions be known. This is where we're going. Now, City at that point, And I think they did that because they had the commitment from Rice. So he's like, look, if you guys have the highest bid, I will come to you. You know what I'm saying? We upped our bid. He communicated to City like, look, my preference is still Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, City had the choice to come back and bid again. They didn't because they got news from fucking Rice that he wanted Arsenal. And so, yeah.
I just don't think, I mean, sure. I also think like the way Pep and them do business is they have a number like that they want to hit. And Arteta knows this, like not stupid. He fucking was there forever. Y'all just went beyond their number. That's all it was. I mean, sure. Is Arsenal Declan's preference? Probably. Him and Saka, neither one of them's English, but they pretend to be, so they get along real well. Like, it all makes sense. You know, if he went to City, he would have actually had to play with English players. And then he probably wouldn't have played. Like, it's his world in Arsenal, right? It's like the age-old, like, free agent in American sports. Do you want to be the star player on, like, a good team, or do you want to be a role player on the best team?
He means more to us than he does to City.
Absolutely.
And when we're going to him and saying, yo, we're building our entire fucking midfield around you, hence why we signed Havertz, because we believe so strongly in what you bring to the table, then yes, obviously, as opposed to him just being one of fucking 4 or 5 other fantastic fucking midfielders that Pep will rotate in between. So I get the appeal of it. And
it makes sense. It makes sense. And I understand why City didn't want to get anywhere near the bid you guys put out there. Right? Like, I think both sides, it makes a ton of sense for both sides. Like, there's other stuff they can do with that 100 million that would make them better next year than Declan Rice will.
And it's also how
we
you
don't even know.
The player.
We don't even know if Declan Rice is going to make y'all better. Because if Partey leaves,
I'm with you there. I think that's what needs to be discussed: is are we significantly better if Partey leaves? And I don't think we are. I don't think we are. Not when you consider the fact that we got to play Champions League.
We're losing the second. If we lose Partey, he's the second best defense in midfield. He's the best. He's the second best 6 in the EPL. But that's just me. I think Partey has been on par, if not better, than Casemiro, and I think Rodri was better than both of them. That's just my rankings on it. So yeah, of course that's a problem.
Where does Declan rank?
Declan, well, so this is the first time he played a 6, bro. 2 years ago, he was an 8. But
where does Declan rank?
And what, as a 6?
Where does Declan?
Moving on. This nigga shooting so much bail, bro. God damn.
Where does Declan rank? At his position, where does Declan rank?
4 players.
Declan is not going to play 6 if Partey is there. So I'm not going to. I don't know in terms of that's what I'm saying.
That has nothing to do with the question this man.
Partey. Well, here's the thing: you assume that Partey will start. He probably doesn't. Havertz is probably starting.
The man just asked,
Declan's a top 5. Declan this year is a top 5.
Thank you.
All right,
that's that fan fiction I was talking about.
All right.
Yeah,
let's move on.
Not me. Not me.
All right, let's move on.
Right there, bro.
It's me. Yes, me, bro. We good. Y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Top five.
Podcast pinch, bro. Podcast pinch. Here we go. Yeah, that's the name.
Rodri, Casemiro, Partey. Who's next? Declan? Where did Caicedo play for Brighton?
I think Rice is better than Caicedo. That's me. But that's in terms of a 6. That's me. But that's why I have him at 4. If you want to pick hairs, that's all. If you want to hold me to a number, that's 4. I have him at 4. I think Rice is better than Caicedo. Right? Caicedo may be more versatile in terms of from a defensive, like of him to be able to play right back. That Declan can't play right back. Declan could easily play center back, but Declan could play center back. He could play left mid, and he could play 6.
I mean, can he play like? Which one of those positions does he play well? Because Havertz can play a lot of spots too, in theory.
But Deion, like, it's not even like the stats show that he's an excellent center defensive mid, right? And we talked about it. It wasn't a number of tackles; it was a number of interceptions. So you got to translate that. And again, I watched a ton of games. I watch games while I work. But they had that motherfucker glued to the back 4 because they didn't trust their back line to stop anybody, right? Now, you gotta realize that we play a different brand of football than fucking West Ham. We're gonna dominate possession more. So Declan, we haven't seen Declan really advance the ball much because there wasn't a lot of opportunities. They were sitting deep a lot of times, and they were like, yo, you gotta clean up a lot of this shit for us. We have Saliba, we have Gabriel. Like, he's not gonna have to. Our defense isn't anchored around Declan Rice. He helps complement it. In West Ham, he was their defense. That motherfucker was everywhere.
Here's my last question on Declan Havertz, all the Pornhub blog fan fiction. Both players, right? Like when we're discussing who you guys should have signed, it's because they play this position in the role that you guys want them to play well already. Both players are now being asked to play a role that you both have admitted within the last 20 minutes that they haven't really played before. They haven't really played in the spots that you need them to play at a high level before. And my question is, like, why do we think they'd be good at it? Because on England, Declan don't have to play like that. West Ham, you don't have to play like that.
Arteta. And I have an answer for you. It's all about Arteta. When we bought Ben White, he was a center back, right? No one thought that he would be able to play right back. He's been one of the better right backs in the Prem. I think you guys can agree on that. Look at Xhaka. Xhaka was not expected to take on the responsibilities that he did this season. And technically, fucking Havertz is miles ahead of who Granit is as a soccer player. So if they're like, look, if Xhaka could do what he did, considering that he's not fast, he's not the most technically sound player, right? If we put Havertz in there, he has a higher ceiling playing that type of role for us. So it's not about what they've showed, it's about can Arteta maximize what he sees that they can translate to in our system. And so far, he's been successful. Ben White, Xhaka, right? And look at all our signings. Nobody thought that fucking Saliba and all these guys that went at the time when we buy them, they're like, that's too much money for what they've showed and what is expected of them. But more often than not, they've exceeded their value.
More often than not? We're not going to discuss all the other messed up signings?
You can point to Pepe, fine. But other than
we
that,
can go down a long list.
I mean, Zinchenko's worth more than 30 million. Would you not say? Ben White is worth more than the 25 that we paid for him.
What did Zinchenko show last year? He didn't show at City.
I just watched Riyad Mahrez get sold for 25 million. No.
All right, we're not gonna act like all fucking transfer fees are equal when obviously there's other fucking things that factor.
Anyway,
so if you add in the English tax, he's really only 15 million. Okay.
And is Zinchenko better than a $15 million player in the transfer window? Of course he is. It would be asinine to say he's not worth that. Even with the English tax, he's outperformed his transfer fee. Yes, he has.
But he is who he is. Like Carter told you exactly how Zinchenko's season was going to go in November, and it played out literally to a T.
Bro, we are not the offense that we were without him. He's the reason why we were able to dominate possession single-handedly because of him.
I'm not saying I'm in no way, shape, or form am I saying he had a bad season. I'm saying he did the same thing for y'all he did for City, and then he blew it at the end, just like he did for City. Carter told you exactly what was going to happen, and it happened.
Okay, but even that was worth more than what we paid together. Even to get us to that point he was a transformational player for us.
But he was the same player he was for City, is my point. So like his
but in City, he doesn't make that much of an impact. From fucking Arsenal that's trying to take a leap and make top four, yes, he has more of an impact. So even if he was the exact same player, he was more impactful on our team than he was for City. And he was worth what we paid for him 3 times over.
Listen, y'all are worse than City. So yeah. I mean, listen, Saka and Foden had similar seasons, and Saka's season was much more impactful for y'all than Foden's was for City.
Yeah, it goes back to the defense. They have Ruben Diaz, and we had Rob Holding the last 11 matches, so a little bit different.
Listen, y'all's defense is really good. I'm not denying that. I'm saying it's a hypothetical world where it's like, oh, Rice is going to do this, Rice is going to do that. Like, but we don't know that. We're hoping. Right. I mean, maybe Arteta. Maybe Arteta is whatever he is. I mean, we know he's a choke artist too, but I'm not going to bring that up until April. But I mean, we don't know. That's the fan fiction.
The only fan fiction about Arteta is will his in-game substitutions improve?
Correct.
Because that has been a critique from fans. I would argue, who the fuck did he have on the bench that was going to come? Now, there was a lot of likes for like subs. I agree with that. But who did we have on the fucking bench that could come in and change the game for us? Fucking Nketiah? Like fucking Fabio Vieira? Like who was on the bench that he left sitting on the bench that could have came in and changed games? Maybe he could have changed styles. But now I'd argue that if Partey stays, we had the type of depth to where it's like now if he's because we had the latest substitutions in the Prem. meaning he was the most stubborn. He rode his guys the furthest, which is why towards the end of the game, towards the end of the season, when our guys had no legs, when we couldn't keep that same level of energy, it's because Arteta was fucking Thibodeau. Now you have more players. Now will you have the courage to make more substitutions early and often and change games and impact the games with your managerial style? And I just think we didn't have the legs to really play his brand of football for fucking 90 minutes every game and for 38 games. And yes, he wore down. And part of that is, was he stubborn? Yes. Is he a choke artist? No, I'm not going to say that because I don't think we had the talent to call him a choke artist. But
he's done it. He's done it
100% fair.
In different levels. He's done it every season he's been at Arsenal. On different levels, obviously, not at the title level, but you guys should have. You guys point blank should have been in Champions League last year.
Give me quick 30 seconds. I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan. Mavericks fans always say that Carlisle is an underperforming coach. Why? Because he only won one title with Dirk. I would argue he's an overachiever because Dirk and the four of us was guaranteed to win 50 games each year. Were we ever going to be good enough to win a title? No. But getting us to win 50 games into the playoffs year in, year out with a player like Dirk is what made Carlisle such a great coach. So you say that he has choked. Yes, the team has choked. I would argue the team was never talented enough to where you should even extend them that much fucking courtesy. I think you should take the fact that he squeezed the absolute most juice that he could out of the team, and the team was never good enough to reach the heights that we left, that we put on his shoulders.
I'm not. So you're focused on last season and the championship. I'm saying every season he's been there at one level or another, he's blown something.
Yes, the 1 year. So, he rode Lacazette even when it was clear Lacazette was a fucking shadow.
Well, he sold Lacazette and Aubameyang in January. You guys should have been in Champions League last year. Like, there's no doubt about it. You were easily a top 4 team. You're much better than Tottenham the year prior. Smoked us. Last game you didn't because you ran scared in January, COVID, but it happened. Like, I'm just saying, like, he choked. He does. April, May. You can get Arsenal. It's been that way ever since he got there. It has nothing to do with this year. This year's just icing on the cake. But the cake was already built.
I'll defer to you because I don't know about years prior that well, so I'll defer to you.
I'll play it like this.
If he truly did choke, then I can't argue that.
You were up 5 points on Tottenham, 3 games to go. You finished in 5th. Tottenham. Stink. We stink. We stink.
I just want to make a couple last notes. I do agree with Deion just on the general fact that like y'all are talking about a bunch of hypothetical situations that haven't happened. Like the Kai Havertz thing. No, I'm just saying the Kai Havertz thing. We've never seen him be good. Like you're trying to give me some Leverkusen shit. I'm just saying like that's an optimistic outlook that you have on Kai Havertz. It's an optimistic outlook that you have on Declan that he's going to be this. Like everybody's like, well, what happens when he starts pushing forward? I don't know. We don't know. I'm just saying, throw that out there. And I also just wanted I had to circle back on a point though. Deion, when they were talking about this Brighton Arsenal situation, they left out a very key fact that they sold Trossard to him 10 days before the fucking transfer window. And so they mean to tell me that in between, in the 10 days and that, somehow they burned the fucking bridge.
Yeah, but that Trossard situation was toxic. You know that Trossard. Come on,
so they were doing business. So if I'm doing business with you, and your whole thing wasn't in January that the business went south while they were literally doing business with each other.
Do you not remember Deion laughing, saying, "Yo, you guys are gonna get a fucking idiot like fucking Trossard"? Because at that time, Trossard was fucking making the situation uncomfortable.
But you're saying you were doing business with Brighton. That's all I'm pointing out. In January, you were doing business with Brighton.
You guys signing Trossard doesn't take away. Like I told you were getting Trossard for a month. Like when I had to hear Mudryk, I had to hear Caicedo, I had to hear Declan, yada yada. I was like, you're gonna get.
And
Trossard.
are those two situations the same where you assume that Trossard had anyway close to the fucking market that Caicedo?
You said that they burned bridges. You said that the bridges were burned.
I didn't say that. I'm just telling you what David Ornstein said. That's not an aggregator. He's accredited.
Okay, we'll take away Brighton. Are you a better team with Maddison than Havertz? Yes. I mean, the hesitation's crazy. Everything you want Havertz to do, we know Maddison.
Deion, I don't know where Madison would have played on our squad because he's a true.
He could play Havertz.
But how do you know that's a hypothetical?
He played attacking midfield last year.
Exactly.
He's going to play attacking midfield for Todd.
Martin Odegaard is better than James Madison. He is.
Play together. Why can't they play together? What's Havertz going to play?
I don't think Havertz is going to start, so I'm not on that front.
Where'd Xhaka play?
Xhaka played on the as an also Madison doesn't track back well enough.
Where did Xhaka play?
Left 8.
On the 8. Exactly. Madison's a center. Madison's a true 10. But I'm not hating on that signing. I think it was fantastic business for Tottenham. There's somebody who can actually pass the ball to Kane and Sonny. That's fantastic.
Well,
used to have to pass to themselves with that midfield. So that's fantastic. No one's hating on that, bro. I just
McAllister's better than Havertz.
For what Arteta, we weren't going to get McAllister. Like McAllister was going to be guaranteed time at Liverpool in terms of like where he could play a 6 or 8 too. That's another thing. McAllister, when Caicedo would play right back, they would have McAllister back at the 6. With Brighton.
You don't think he'd be guaranteed time at Arsenal too?
McAllister?
Charles, I want to hear Charles' argument for why Liverpool finishes ahead of fucking Arsenal. Because look, I get it. It's Arsenal centric because we finished second, and yes, we're gonna finish top 4. So that's why we talk about it. But make the argument for Liverpool over Arsenal. Because that doesn't involve projection. Since you guys hate fan fiction and projection, give me evidence, data, whatever, that Liverpool is gonna be better.
Okay, let me tie these things back into things. You know how much since pre-World Cup I believed in McAllister. So I've been high on McAllister. Even I thought the entire time I thought he was better than Enzo. I've been consistent in that. So this is with that. I can look up in the group chat how many times I pointed out Liverpool loses games because their midfield sucks. They address their biggest weakness. I don't think they're nearly as weak at the back as you guys make them out to be. I think the midfield was not good at getting the ball forward and left Trenton them with no fucking cover to do anything in the back. So I just think improving generally with their midfielders, they're going to defensively get better because they're going to actually be able to run with people. And I think they'll have more possession with the ball.
So who's playing in the back since they're moving Trent and Alexander-Arnold up to the midfield from what I read? Then who's covering Trent?
He's just gonna Zinchenko, I think, more so than anything. I think he's just gonna slide in.
But
Gabriel and let me just not gonna say.
But you think McAllister is so transformational that one guy?
They got Soboslai too. They got Soboslai too.
Yeah, she's good.
I don't think they're done yet either.
But they also lost depth though as well. Because what if they have?
I think that's why I don't think they're done. So I think they're turning over their entire midfield. That's why I think they're good letting Hendo and Fabinho go because they clearly
they've been linked to Lobby.
And the Calvin Phillips thing came through today. So I mean,
y'all are gonna get Lavia. You can take my word on that one.
If Party leaves, probably yes.
Y'all are gonna get Lavia.
I hope so, but I don't know if we will.
And then I just think man for man, like when it comes to like their attacking power, I think I have stats to prove on top of that, but it's just my opinion that they're better. They're just a better attacking.
Their five attackers are phenomenal. In fact, low key, I mean,
I don't think there are many teams in Europe that have a better attacking five than them. No, I'm just saying as far as like your actual attacking players, with Salah being your best attacker, like who's their worst attacker out of those 5? Luis Diaz or Jota? Like if that's your fifth best attacker, like you got a squad.
I think Darwin's the worst because I actually rate Jota and I rate Lucas Diaz over Nunez.
Jota was hurt a lot last year, right?
But also Gakpo, like he needs another season.
Jota?
He was hurt.
Jota and Diaz were both hurt most of the season. That's what I'm saying. They had a shit ton of injuries on top of that.
I forgot
a lot of my me thinking Liverpool is gonna be better has nothing to do with Arsenal. Like it's not like I think you guys are gonna be worse. I think if like Liverpool had been healthy, they would have been up there doing what they did. They like we make the joke that they sleptwalk through the first half of the year and still ended 5th. Like that shit is like you guys know that's true. They were playing like shit for most of the year. But like a lot of their best games, when they played you guys, like they were head up with y'all. Like it ain't like they were like lacking in certain games. Like they were like like I said, the way they looked isn't like Chelsea looked, where they looked like unmotivated and like there were no signs of life in what you saw from Chelsea. Like there's enough there, given the fact of who they got, where I think it's not even like I said, it's not a matter of Arsenal. Like if Arsenal finishes 3rd, which I think they will, like I think it has to do more with like Liverpool regret going back to who they are, than less to do with like you guys falling off.
I think Liverpool could win.
Yeah,
I do too.
That's where.
I do too.
That's why I'm waiting to August to talk about them.
Depending on who City have and who they end up with, yeah, I think Liverpool could win.
I don't want to talk about
don't move me enough.
Liverpool. I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, that team that you just that's why I want to wait till August because Deion actually agree with you a little bit.
I've been saying
I
it.
agree with you a little bit.
Chelsea get Caicedo. I think Chelsea could win too. I think Chelsea and Liverpool with only having one game a week, like that's so massive. It's crazy. Like it's crazy massive. And I think Chelsea has enough
be
talent.
a 20, 25 goal scorer. Like
Klopp is also second best manager in the Prem and maybe third, fourth in the world, if we're being honest.
When you're talking about Chelsea, Liverpool, City, like, I think you're talking about, God, I'm very high on Pochettino. You could be talking about the three best managers in the Prem, right? Like, obviously, he has to show it again. It's been a while, but like, I think you could be talking about the three best managers in the Prem. So I don't know. We'll see. They get Caicedo. They have more than enough talent to win one game a week, like they have to. Now, if they were in Champions League or Europa, I probably would think they're going to come in 6th or 7th. I don't think they have that much talent, but it's one game a week.
But the issue was goal scoring. So again, my question stands: are you thinking Kuku is going to come in and fucking be the type of natural striker that he puts enough goals into where he can score enough goals? Because you're right.
Anything's better than what they have, though.
Huh? Yeah, I think
anything's better than what they have.
Yeah.
But they're also losing Zhao too, and Zhao helped them.
He stinks.
Zhao scored three goals.
He stinks.
You know how bad Chelsea was on attack.
Yeah, I'm saying like he was there for the entire losing streak at the end of the season. Not like he was there through the shit, and you see nobody wants his ass.
Yeah, Poch is 3-5 leagues ahead of Graham Potter is for sure, but also Chelsea's struggling at their goalkeeper too. They got to figure that situation out too as well.
They still have Raya. They don't have to sell David Raya.
I think they need to figure out what they got. That's all I'm just saying.
Charles, they have 11 defenders.
There. Liverpool has.
You proved me. You put the fear of God in me. I will give you credit where credit is due. I enjoy when you talk actual because yes, you make good points, and I agree with you on Liverpool. Chelsea, I don't see it. But
I can see Chelsea getting like 5th though. I can see Chelsea being competitive.
In no way, shape, or form am I saying Chelsea is the best team in the Prem. I'm saying I think City has very clearly gotten substantially worse so far. Obviously, 33 days, whatever. I do not believe Partey is going to be on Arsenal. I think Arsenal's gotten worse in this window too. And Chelsea plays one game a week. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Like they play one game a week. And
so that ain't gonna be the team people are going to play in like April, May with like things like
because Poch will improve. For sure, Poch is fantastic in terms of player development and.
That's what I was gonna say. I haven't looked at. I know all the schedules are or fixtures are released.
Yeah, they are.
I don't want to be disrespectful. I haven't looked at it. If their August, September, October is easy, I'm tenfold. Like I'm doubling down on what I'm saying. Like they need to play Arsenal, City, Man U, Liverpool early. For those teams benefit from playing Chelsea the earlier that they play.
So we've got City clearly first. Let's say that we agree on Liverpool second, Arsenal third. So for fourth, we've got United, Chelsea, and I would say Newcastle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think one of Chelsea or Tottenham is going to finish top 4, just based off one game a week. Not because they're actually like one of the 4 best teams, but one game a week. It's the same thing Tottenham did 2 years ago, right? Like when you don't have to play much and everyone else does, you can sneak in.
Okay. So then who would you have? So if one of them sneaks in, then who would you have? Would you have Newcastle 5th?
I think Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle are going to be in a hell of like one of those two of those teams one of those teams won't make it. It's going to be a hell of a battle.
Yeah, that's your 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it's one way or the other.
You got Arsenal in the 4, 5, 6 group.
I'm not saying a guaranteed fourth. Gotcha. What I'm saying is like I think one of Tottenham, Chelsea are for sure in. City, Liverpool are for sure in, and then between those 3 teams, you get one.
He's saying that Chelsea and them like they could be the ones that finish 4, but they are getting one of the 4 spots. And right. I think Tottenham more so than Chelsea, but that's just I think that just because Tottenham can score, and I also if you look at some of the YouTube stuff, I love what their manager's actually going to put in. Actually, I think he's a very good manager, and when you look at what he did with Celtic and their style of play, Tottenham's just never had that before. Like a true attacking style of play, so they're going to use.
Believe in Ange, man. Ange gonna get it done.
Yeah, Ange is special. I don't know if it's this year. But soon.
He needs to stay. That's all. Harry's got to stay.
Nah, honestly, I would sell him personally. It might be too late. I wish they sold him earlier. That way they could have got in on like the Caicedo sweepstakes. But like, if you can get 100 M's for Harry, I say something. I think Richarlison, honestly, based off what Ange is talking about, the system they want to play, like Richarlison might honestly be better for Tottenham this year than Harry would be. So like, why not sell Harry, get 100 M's, you get Caicedo? I mean, it's obviously not going to happen. That is fan fiction, but like, if I was Tottenham, that's where my headspace would be.
But you think Bayern would pay 100 for him? Because wasn't their initial bid like 50, 55?
No, it was 70 plus add-on.
70.
And their second one was 80.
70 million.
Yes.
70 million.
They paid 100 for Leroy, bro. Like they'll do it.
Their second bid was 80 plus add-ons, and they're apparently like they're having like direct contact. Anytime like Fabrizio says direct contact, that makes me believe like it probably will get done, but like maybe not. So I think they would get to the 100, yeah, honestly.
Do you believe that Levy when he says like there's no price to meet, we're not selling? Or do you think he's just a negotiating?
That's where direct contact gets a little interesting.
Exactly.
I think at this point in the transfer window, I'm of the belief Harry Kane will be on Tottenham next year. If Bayern came to Harry Kane in the time frame you guys went to Chelsea for Havertz, I think he would have been gone a month ago.
They weren't ready for I think they had the money. I think they just weren't sure. And I think Harry they just didn't have the conversations. They had the conversation too late, potentially, most likely. That's all it is. Had they been in his ear, like for real, right after March or April.
Well, I think Harry's the harder one to convince than Levy. Like we talk all the time about like, oh, Levy doesn't want to sell him. I don't think Harry Kane wants to win that bad. Like it's Declan, and I'm not comparing Tottenham to Arsenal or like Declan to Harry, but like if you're Declan and you're gonna get the same amount of money regardless, and you can go to Arsenal, finish top 4, and you're beloved, or you can go to City where you will play less and you have to win to maybe be loved. Right? Like, I think that's Harry Kane. I don't think Harry Kane cares about winning that bad.
2 years, I will say this, 2 years ago with the City situation, because City actually had the money and leave.
I think that's different.
Because you didn't want to keep him in England. Like now it's like you have to entertain it because Harry wanted to go to City. And
I think that one's different because of Pep and he can live in London.
Fair enough.
But like moving to Germany to have the weight of the world on your shoulders when you can fucking come in 10th at Tottenham and no one gives a shit. Like, I mean, it's an easy decision for me.
Yeah, but isn't the weight of the world on your shoulders when they can sleepwalk their way to the Bundesliga?
But like they don't celebrate that much, right? Yeah. Like you have to do other stuff on top of that.
But the whole thing about Kane, but remember, we're talking about Kane. The thing about Kane is he doesn't lift trophies. But if he can lift 2 Bundesligas in the next 3 years, well,
he gets that much care about that.
They're winning all 3. Germany doesn't have any competition now that like some of them dudes out of Dortmund, bro. Like
Dortmund ain't lose nobody. Who they lose?
Chill.
Dude didn't even want to play.
Coming. All right, so for the Prem, I would argue that the middle of the table got weaker this year. I don't see any teams that really fortified themselves. So could you argue that the gap between the haves and the have-nots, because it's greater, there's less chance for somebody like Arsenal to fall off?
What's the middle of the table to you?
Yeah,
like Brighton, Brentford.
So like 6 through 15.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
I think Chelsea
like 7 through 15.
Both of those were top
Chelsea's way better,
okay.
In my opinion. Just by having Poch alone, and they're kind of like they're getting rid of players, so there's more established roles. Like they kind of just played anybody. I said it in January. I didn't think they gave a shit, and the way they went about the second half of the season showed they didn't give a shit. Tottenham's way better.
Way better?
Yeah, I think they're way better. Madison's our best midfielder, like by far. Okay. Right. And our midfield was dog shit. And by way better, that means like we still stink, but like it's gonna be a tougher game for teams. Also, probably won't have to watch too much Emerson Royale, which is always beautiful. And I think,
but we always consider
Newcastle's way better. Would they be middle of the table?
Who?
Newcastle.
They like they're at 6, 7.
but I don't. But I mean, they're in European football, so. But Aston Villa, even though Aston Villa's in European football,
I don't think Newcastle has enough going forward. I think that's what, like, at the end of the day, like, so many, like, I don't think, like, when we talk about
no, I agree with
power, like, I like Isak, but like when we look at, like, they're even with getting to Nally, like, they're like hunkering down more while everybody else is getting more explosive. Like, they're like batting down the hatches more to try to fucking win these wars. And I think, if you want to get, like, at a certain level, like, well, you got, like, it doesn't matter, you got to score gold. And I don't think
like 80 to 78 in the NBA, right? Like,
yeah, they're trying to do some Larry Brown Piston shit right now. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to work with these teams.
Don't you? But like, every Big Six game is going to be tough this year versus last year.
Yeah.
You could
but
see,
Brian put the fear God in me last year. Like, even Brentford, when they had Tony out there, hey, even Fulham with fucking what's the Middle Eastern European guy. I don't Mitrovic. I don't think that those teams are going to be as good this year, and especially like Brentford with Tony being suspended, like they're out. West Ham, they're considerably fucking worse. Aston Villa, I don't see it.
They're better.
You know what I'm saying?
But like West Ham's just going to do the same thing they did.
Villa's going to be better. Villa's going to be better this year.
Villa's.
But like enough to where like what against if they play 12 games against the top 6,
they're going to get two.
They're not done. They're not done with business still yet. That's another thing, and they got
even hold on. Are we talking about like best managers, like best managers in the Premier? Yeah, you better put some respect on Unai name.
Mm-hmm. Unai's a killer.
Unai had Villarreal at the rocking last year before he switched. So,
and then goes over there, takes a team that was in a relegation battle to European football. It was crazy.
Unai know a thing or two.
I mean,
Unai's a more accomplished manager than Arteta. Period. Like, there's no doubting that. And I honestly, right now, currently, a better one. Now, I'm not saying, but also I believe in Arteta's system more than I believe in Aston Villa's. But Unai right now, he's more accomplished.
If we went down respectfully, ML, and I'm not even trying to bash Arteta here, but if we ranked managers in the EPL solely off accomplishments, like Arteta's on the lower half.
Yeah, no, because there's trophies. You win trophies.
Trophy
for Champions League.
Trophy.
I mean, this is Arteta's first job, so you're not comparing apples to apples. You want to compare fucking Arteta's first 5 years against these other managers' first 5 years? Now that's a more realistic conversation. But don't compare Arteta, who's 4 or 5 years in, to somebody who has 12 years.
I mean, my manager was just won his first League Cup and his first league title in his first full year, but in another country, different rules.
This ain't.
Congrats on being via Roid or whatever the fuck.
This ain't the NBA. You ain't got to tank, brother.
I expect more out of you, as a fellow Barca fan. I expect more out of you.
I mean,
wow, that's wild.
How many years was Poch at Tottenham?
We're not letting that in.
How many years was Poch at Tottenham? 6? Maybe? Less?
Yeah, did he missed the top 4 once? So
yeah, he did more at Tottenham in less time than Arteta has done at Arsenal.
I would argue that this is the first season where the expectations that unrealistic fans, which may or may not include myself, this is the first year where like, if we come short of set expectations, that's 1,000% on Arteta.
That was that Pornhub blog comments, boy. You said compare the first 5 years. I didn't know. Well, the expectations.
You said you got to bounce.
Yeah, I got like another 3 minutes.
All right, cool. Yo,
I'm about to talk Kane.
No, we don't. We already.
I mean, we wasted an hour on fucking Arsenal.
But they're relevant, Charles. We're not talking about the team that's going to come 12.
The only reason why go ahead, Deion. My bad, bro.
What's the percentage chance? We'll go rosters as is. I'll let y'all have Partey. We can have Kane. It's probably more likely they're both gone than they both stay, obviously. Percentage likely that Tottenham finishes above Arsenal this year, with it being 1 game a week.
35.
33.
30.
I was going to say 45. Yeah, I was going to say, so I'm in about that same range.
Right. So, and I will say this, the difference, once again, somebody's new style you got to get used to. I'm not talking about both the team and the opponent in terms of managerial, but then also for me, that 1 game a week, and just to make the comparison, Arsenal got to second because we literally only played 5 of our starters when we go to Europa. And you hated watching Europa. That shit was terrible in the group stage. Liverpool, we are exactly what Liverpool was last year. Second, you get second place in the Prem, which also puts you in pot 2 in terms of the Champions League. And that's
honestly, I think our problems start even before that. No, and I agree with what you're saying. I think for us, the first 5-6 games are crucial because if you're installing a whole new midfield, all it takes is 1 or 2 wins turning into draws for us to be fucked, right? And so if we don't have that continuity and fucking Rice and fucking Havertz struggle to fucking get up to speed and learn the system, it could be over before it starts, before we even enter Champions League group stage. So I have the fear of God in me week 1.
It's just so funny to me because
this year's Arsenal squad is better than last year's Liverpool squad, though, and that's the only reason why I think we have feel like it has to be top 4. It has to be one of the major trophies: FA, Champions League, or the
Dubai Super Cup.
Nah, one of the majors.
And I'm not giving you the Community Shield.
I
don't
understand.
care if you win it. I don't care if you win it because
early.
you didn't earn your spot in it. So you don't. If you win it, don't count.
Touche.
Yo, if we win, it's gonna get dark city. If we lose, it's a fucking friendly, and who gives a fuck about the community?
Exactly.
That's exactly what Charles said. What did you say, Charles? Just like when Arsenal plays Barcelona. You know what? Arsenal sucks. Is Barcelona wins? If not, it's just a little friendly.
Now, if Arsenal lose to Barcelona and City, 2 games in, I'm out y'all.
How'd their first exhibition go?
We do play Monaco though, so we good at the Emirates Cup.
You talking about us against Nuremberg when we played Academy Boys? We drew. Academy Boys. Academy Boys started the second.
I just asked. I don't even know the result. Did you? I don't even know.
Wonder what Deion asked us a question. He knows. Fuck that egg.
I don't know the result.
Deion doesn't ask a question he doesn't already know the answer to. Man,
that's how it went.
About Deion. He's not naturally inquisitive.
I don't know the result.
Everything is slander.
I don't know it was one. Who'd you play?
You know how it is. You know how it was.
Who?
Blue chips, right, bro? When they started, where you say, "Wow, they got the 1, 2, 4, and 5th player in the country coming," bro. When there's movement happening, that's why we talked about Arsenal. Blue chips, they're like, "Damn, why this dude? Why coach getting all these players?" Well, he cheating. That's so they're the talk of the town. Charles, we spent $227 million this window, so we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. And right now, we have the best what they consider in terms of market rate team in the world, 1.2 billion. They said he's
market. What does that mean?
Based upon the values of our players, we have the highest rank. We have the highest ranked team now in the world. Not by yes, but
so is that going based on how much y'all paid for everybody?
No. What they would sell for example, like
their technical worth.
Like
what is Declan's?
Like right now,
what's Declan's?
Phil Foden's worth 270.
Saka was our highest. They said Saka was the highest at 100.
What was Declan's?
I don't ever think he's not rated. He shouldn't be. No one will ever pay his market value.
What was Declan's?
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna look at for you, Fred. Give me a second.
Did Saka play in that friendly?
He scored. He scored.
Scored 1 goal.
He only played 20 minutes.
Must be a World Cup all over again.
Oh my God. Marcus Rashford just got signed. By the way, X, we appreciate you, bro. I know you got to bounce.
Real quick, the reason I asked that question is because last year's preseason run for Arsenal was when I was like, okay, like they're gonna finish top 4. That's why I asked.
There's nobody more unpatriotic than myself. On Thursday, fuck the US. I'm gonna burn a US flag on Instagram Live. I'll send you guys the invite. We're gonna beat them boys. Fucking 9-1. I can't wait.
Listen, that was one of the more blasphemous statements X and MLB stayed up.
The MLS All-Stars.
Oh shit.
Almeida and them boys, you know what I'm saying?
Ricky Poop's going crazy.
Almeida's good. I mean, for MLS.
Gio playing?
Gio. Boy, bye. All right, X. We appreciate you, man. We got you next week.
St. Weird Boys out.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Back to the Tottenham thing before X went on another Arsenal rant. My percentage would be higher if we didn't play 4 of the big 6 in our first 10 fucking games. It's tough. Beginning of the schedule stinks.
You will not hear me slander Tottenham at all. Beginning because you got to. First of all, I respect your manager tremendously.
More accomplished than Arteta.
Yes, this is true. He's been at it a lot longer. You ain't lying.
Eh.
Same thing with Brendan Rodgers. If we assigned him instead of Arteta, so Yeah, it'll be interesting, but that'll be time for that. We're 3 weeks away from predictions time. Charles Little, Marcus Rashford has just been signed 5-year extension for United. Where do you rank Marcus Rashford in the Prem?
At what position? Striker, winger, what we call
Can you name 10 attackers better than Marcus Rashford in the Prem?
I'm not gonna try, but no.
Can you name 5?
5, yeah, easy.
Go ahead.
The big Norwegian, Big Mo, Harry, Sonny.
Oh,
and I'll give you, yeah, Sonny's better, bro. Sonny's the best winger in the Premier.
This is monologue time. Carry on, brother. We need this for the show.
I'm just saying, he won the Golden Boot 2 years ago. Y'all like the motherfucker fell off a cliff. He's out of position. You don't think of all the players that like? Hold on, I just put a. Oh no, I gotta put my Tottenham. How many times did I say the person struggling most from Tottenham in this in Conte's formation is Sonny because of the overlapping run? If anybody's going to benefit from Ange being the manager, it's going to be Sonny. Just putting that out there.
Who's overlapping?
My uncle, my mom and brother. My brother. Uncle
Man, listen, I hear all that.
Croatia, hey,
so that's fine.
You catch him in the Nations League, he going crazy though.
Big Norwegian, Mo. You gave me Big Norwegian. You gave me Mo. You gave me both Tottenham boys.
And I said, I think somebody else too. Oh shit! Now he might be fifth in. I don't think that United's problems are Marcus Rashford. I think like it's the rest of them suck around him. That's 4. I think he's 5th.
You think Marcus Rashford's better than Bukayo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do the numbers say? I know we don't like looking at those. The fan fiction. There's another one. There is somebody you're missing.
I'm trying to go through.
Just think it through because we're not done.
There's somebody you're missing.
I'm just gonna ask it. Like
I'm just going through the top 7s.
I'm not gonna call.
I mean, I think Julian
Bernardo.
Alvarez.
Consider Bernardo better than
Alvarez.
Grealish, technically.
Yeah. So we're 7.
Alvarez for sure.
I think.
And I guess I put him in.
Attacker doesn't count as attacking mids, right?
I'm gonna try it because they play him.
Yeah.
You mean like wingers and strikers, basically.
Yeah.
Alvarez for sure.
I put Mahrez at him and Mahrez about on par.
If Mahrez wasn't already in Saudi Arabia, I'd put him up there too, but he's gone.
That's true. Never mind. Take that back. Yeah.
Yeah, there. And we don't know about Bernardo yet. Let's talk about PSG is chilling right now.
Mudrik's the only one faster than him though.
Yeah, that boy Mudrik. When you see that boy run, boy, I might have Mudrik above Rashford.
That's
there's somebody else.
Wait, now my question. Is Cody better than Rashford?
No, yeah, I think Cody. I think Cody might score 20 goals this year, but
I think Nunez might be.
I mess with Darwin, but the Liverpool folks don't rate him as well.
I think he's gonna have a big year too. I think he's gonna benefit from being year 2. Like hear me out.
Yeah, sure.
Alvaro Morata gets chances and just tricks him. Ferran Torres just gets chances and tricks him. Darwin doesn't trick in the same way that they trick off. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I don't believe in either of those two. I think I actually believe in like, oh no, he'll eventually gonna score these because I think he's even though he's missing a bunch of chances, he scores enough to where like I feel like he's more on that end of like Klopp will give him some confidence. They'll play him in the right position. They'll make life easy for him. And I think McAllister's gonna help him a bunch too because I just think it'll all help them all. But like when you really look at Liverpool, like if any of those 5 guys score 15 goals, I would be surprised.
We can't put Tony, can we?
No.
Not just because he's gonna be suspended.
Because he's better too.
I guess
I'm just saying
Aubameyang?
I guess is Martinelli up there for you? I'm just saying, like if you take Rashford,
I think Rashford's
he's playing left.
If
you put Rashford, then the only team out of those teams that we're talking about that he would start on is Arsenal because he wouldn't start it. He's not better than everybody else's left wing we're saying is better.
I think Sterling might be better than him.
I think Marcus. No, he's not. No, Marcus is.
He's not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. I think Marcus would still start over Grealish.
Does England think that? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think Rashford is of all the people we named, maybe a top 2 to 3 pure goal scorer. He lacks everywhere else on the field. Mm-hmm. And like I know Haaland, I say the same thing about Haaland, but like it's different.
Marcus is
like I said,
like in terms of
like I think the team sucks. But I think the team sucks more than it has to do with him. Because like if he had any help up, he's playing with Martial, dude. Like I don't expect him to do anything.
Bruno was nice though, bro. Like
but they're playing Weghorst. They're playing Weghorst, bro. Like I'm just like they're playing Fred. They're playing McTominay. Like the fuck. Like they're not good. Or like they have individual players that are decent. They don't have a good team.
He's taken a step up with Ten Hag. Obviously, I mean I don't know what old buddy was doing with him. OGS in terms of his confidence came way down. He obviously had a bounce back year. So yeah, I mean we could say he's top 10, but not top 5.
Is he better than Mason Greenwood? About to find out this year.
Kind of rate Mason Greenwood a lot.
I don't know. I'm sure you do.
I do. I'm talking about football only, brother. Come on now.
Well, based off the Partey comments, we don't know that. We know you rate him, though.
Father, chill as a father of 2
Hey, listen, Rashford. I'm gonna be honest, though, like Rashford.
Yeah,
Rashford along with Saka,
no,
like both fan bases, kings of fan fiction. If you don't ever watch the 2 teams play, you don't ever look up and see like, what did they actually do last year? You would think those 2 are maybe like the best attackers in the world. And that's not to say like Rashford stinks. I'm just saying like everyone, any fan of a Big 6 team besides Tottenham claims Sonny fell off a cliff. He's washed. He's cooked. X said it multiple times on this podcast. Troop says it. Any fan of a Big 6 team says the same thing. Same exact numbers. That's my issue. Like, whether it's Saka or Rashford, if Sonny was so fucking bad last year, he was playing out of position, playing in a system that didn't fit him, he's washed, he's this, he's that, and your numbers are pretty fucking similar, like, you're not that good to me. You're just not that good to me. And as a Tottenham fan, it's really fucking hard for me to, like, and I understand Charles' argument, the team around him stinks. I watched Sonny win a Golden Boot. Team stunk. I watched Harry Kane throw up he would have won the Golden Boot if Haaland wasn't on steroids. Like, team stunk. So it's hard for me to sit around and be like, his team sucked. He'll be better. It's like, nah, bro. If you're that guy, you will score regardless.
That's valid.
It's a big year for him because now there's Champions League and there's expectations.
I don't know why he signed that extension though. He should have kept his options open, but
United they can't take a step back. No, honestly, they're same situation as Arsenal.
Well, they've done nothing in this window, right?
No, they had $12 and they got Onana and Mason Mount.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they got. Yeah. What the hell is Chelsea doing, man? Did Chelsea convincing all these teams to buy their? There's some bull. They sold Mount and Havertz.
They did have 33 players on the squad.
But how much money did they get from Mount?
55 plus 2.
But bro, I
need £1 million.
I need whoever their director is to start negotiating shit for me.
I mean, they got 20. They got 25 for Pulisic, didn't they?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather spend 25 on Pulisic than 70 on Mount or 83 on Havertz.
Listen,
I would do that. 17.
I would have easily taken a CP10 for sure at Arsenal.
Hey, well, listen, all 3 stink, but at least Pulisic will sell some jersey.
Speaking of which, they're saying that we've already sold $35 million worth of jerseys for Rice already in America. So there goes the add-ons. They're good there. Our first payment rather, because our payments are in 3-year terms. So there goes the first payment there. You gotta
just lied to you. You sold $35 million worth of jerseys.
Yeah.
No.
Charles Little. Charles,
No.
next thing on the board.
Let's do the math on that. How many people would have to buy jerseys? Like, it ain't that many. No.
Orders.
Who cares? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, who
Michael
cares?
Rubin. Michael Rubin, apparently.
All right, let's see.
Fanatics is only good.
Are you getting a cut of that paycheck? Like, who cares?
Well, I know
First shit. Who probably? Oh.
the clubs do, but I'm once again.
But like, who cares? A bunch of Americans bought an English dude's jersey. That's what they do.
Right. X bought 12 million of them.
Yeah, that's why.
That's how you get the number because that's like
Get out of here.
He went for 105 because America's not over the Tea Party yet, so we still love England.
What about Ireland? I guess seen Braveheart once and was all down for Ireland. So
My question, ML, if Declan Rice loved and respected his family, the McGregors, as much as Connor does, how many jerseys would he sell as an Irish-born player?
no number. Can't even start with it. But
yeah, I when I find some time, I'm going to cross reference to see how many natural born Englishmen there are actually on the English
actually
team.
are the squad. Did you do the same with France when they won? Did you do the same with France when they won the World Cup 8 years ago? Did you do the same?
Yep. Sure did.
We saw this because you and I have taled about this. How many Africans they have on their team? Literally, it's
all of them.
11.
Are you anti-immigration now?
No, and Griezmann.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Relax.
That's
I love it.
Listen, all them families had to earn their way.
I was texting Charles after what's Mbappe. Obviously, against Croatia. I'm like, yo, dog, they're all black players winning this.
Listen, I know where Mbappe from, but it's different. His family had to earn his way to France.
I just on a random Google search yesterday found out Griezmann's Portuguese.
Listen, I had a problem with all these dudes playing on the wrong country the whole World Cup. You won't hear me say it about France though, because like it's the same thing. Like if there's a Mexican dude playing on the U.S. team, like yo, your family had to go blood, sweat, and tears for you to be able to put that jersey on, my boy. So there's probably some people that died for that shit. So you can do it. Same with France and them Africans, boy. They be going through hell to get their kids to France. These English dudes just be like, I want to play. I want to make more money. I'm English now.
Yeah, it's always fun with that. Quick check-in with y'all, your boys. Barca about to get on the U.S. tour and then checking in on, and also let's make sure we checking on that with y'all. How's the squad looking? Are y'all feeling like you're in a better situation than last year?
I think we getting Bernardo.
Oh, you think he's going to?
Yeah, I've been reading a little too much Gerard Romero fan fiction today. I think we're getting Bernardo. I think that one's a done deal.
What do y'all have to do for FFP for it though? Like, cause y'all aren't.
You gotta get some people out of there, but
you gotta sell Ferran, I assume. Still,
it doesn't sound like anything crazy because of how much they're going to be able to space them payments out since they got Gundo for free, and Buddy doesn't come till January. Vitors. So it doesn't sound like it's nearly that crazy. And the way Bro was describing it, and again, fan fiction, this is basically just the Messi money, which was already approved. Shout out to his wife, by the way.
All right, so give me y'all starting 11 from first league match if Bernardo's there. Ter Stegen in the back.
We're playing a 3-4-3. We're playing a 3-4-3.
Play 3-4-3. Okay, because of Gundo coming in. So Big Ron, Balde,
Koundé,
and Balde.
Christensen.
Over Balde. See, oh man. Okay, about that.
If it's a 3-4-3, it has to be, right? Like, it has to be Christensen.
FDJ, Gundo, Pedri.
Bernardo.
Instead of going to right wing.
Dembele, Lewandowski, Gavi.
Would Bernardo play over Dembele?
No.
Yeah. I think so.
They moved him up. They wanted to. They put on the young boy because now y'all haven't mentioned him. Is Gavi going to start?
Well, I'm saying Gavi, Lewandowski, Dembele up top.
I want to hear it. Go ahead, Deion. I'm sorry.
I think it's Gavi, Lewandowski, Dembele up top. Bernardo plays in the midfield.
Yeah.
You moving Gavi left wing?
Yeah, kind of like where he was playing towards the end of the year. because I could be wrong. That is where Spain played in Nations League too. I want to say he was in the mid.
So Rafinha to the bench.
Rafinha to Saudi Arabia.
To the rat.
He's gonna be Benzema's teammate if it was up to me. I forgot about him.
That 11 is crazy. That 11 is crazy. If y'all
Pedri,
I think they're gonna go double pivot essentially, and because Pedri plays a deeper lying midfielder anyway, so they're gonna put Frankie back here with Pedri to help protect him. I think it's gonna end up. It's not gonna be exactly a double pivot, but they're gonna be playing together back there, and they'll just let Gundo and those guys push forward.
Pedri, Gundo, Frankie is nuts.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, that's.
But then, and just a simple fact of bringing Gabby in the 65th minute with 35 minutes of energy. Shit. All right.
Hey, he gonna be looking like me in high school with the amount of cards he gets.
Unless y'all moving him to attack, though. Unless y'all moving him to attack, and that's what. Yeah, got options. Y'all got a strong.
I got the resurgence of Ansu coming in too, though. My man gonna get some minutes.
I was hoping y'all was gonna get there.
So I was gonna let Charles that Ferran comment slide without Ansu slander until you brought him up. We're not gonna talk about dudes that bottle chances without bringing up Ansu's name. That boy is Arrowhead.
There's a Spanish saying that they have for Ansu Fati. Tiengo. He has goal. They literally say that about the boy. So I can't Also, I do want to put this out because we're talking about fan fiction. That Ferran Torres the Arsenal fan fiction. Y'all want to make that true. If you want to make me an Arsenal fan, y'all want to make me an Arsenal fan. Hey, go ahead and pay that money. Y'all get Ferran Torres off my back. Hey man, might be a gooner.
Listen, X would come on here. He would do just this. Listen, Ferran was playing in the wrong position.
Man, listen,
he was doing the wrong thing. If you just let him attack, he's a nine.
I see the vision.
Listen, man.
I see the vision. You got Trent Richardson vision. You see the vision, all right.
2-yard Trent is what they call him. All the white people behind us at the gates. There goes 2-yard Trent again. That's all messed up. They be hating on Buddy. Oh man, yeah, he has horrible vision. Good God Almighty, you running the 2 linemen the hole over there. I'm excited for Barcelona, because I want to see them back to their dominant ways in the Champions League, like not for, just because it's more fun. When Barcelona's doing their thing in Champions League.
Hey, we know you excited for their Champions League games. You have to tell us that.
Come on. I'm tired of talking to Charles on Tuesday, Wednesday, and he ain't joining us. And there ain't no shame in losing to the runner-ups. I mean, Inter we found out that they were kind of nice.
Man, we've gotten the worst group the last 2 years. Like, I'm not gonna say obviously we're Barcelona. Our favorite is no question. But we got a couple I'm still not over that handball. Inter Milan. That's what I'm saying. There was some bullshit that transpired that out of them. So, I mean, we're all right. At the end of the day, dude, as long as Barca doesn't fall out of that top 6-7 clubs in the world, I'm pretty good, because those are the teams that have we have a chance to win Champions League. Whether you do or not is the draw and 20 other factors. City's had the best team in the world. City's had the best team in the world for 3 years. They just got one. They got one to show for it.
100%. Anyways, I'm excited. It's good because y'all are.
Tottenham made the Champions League final.
Yes,
but Lyon made the semifinals 3 years ago. There's always
the COVID year, true, but
a team that signed Christian Pulisic made it to the semifinals. That's how bummy some of these teams are.
The draw.
Do we think Pulisic starts? And consider the Musa signing apparently is done. I guess Musa's going there also.
Yeah, I have to double check that. I thought so, but then they also
Fabrizio said today that it's pretty much done.
Did they sign Loftus-Cheek too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think Loftus-Cheek's much better than Pulisic. Much better. Musa, I don't know. I can't pretend I watched too much Valencia.
Something we got to ask Carter. We'll ask Carter. We'll save that for.
We don't need. I'm asking you.
I don't,
Mr. Osei.
Listen. Yes, I think he starts. Should
Where?
he start?
Yeah, I'm looking at their midfielders, bro. They got dudes.
Because he's gonna play in the mid, right? They were saying like he's not gonna play on the wing or anything like that.
It depends. I think he has the yeah. I think he actually will start, and I think that they should look at him. I think he should play in the midfield personally, but
So Musa comes off the bench.
no, I think they gotta probably go to. I think they should think about a 3-4.
Both of them are probably going to start. To be honest with
I
you.
think they should go to 3-4-3. That's me. But
If they're starting both them dudes, they stink.
well, the thing is that I mean, well,
Like that's bad.
Napoli still has their two best players, and but also another thing for them, they getting a new manager, and there's a reason for that too. So we got to watch out for. I mean, you win the league there, man. The Scudetto, like that matters for them. So I don't know. They're always layout's dope.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to start in the front.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
no, I was saying like they won the league and then sold a couple guys. Like they got like Kessie won the league with them 2 years ago, and
Exactly.
he's now the 11th midfielder at Barcelona.
Is it AC or Juve that's going to get Kessie?
Juve.
Juve, okay.
And Cuadrado just went to Inter, did he not? I think.
Yeah.
That's actually a low key. Like, I mean, it's a low key signing for them.
Pulisic then, like, is he starting the whole year, or do you think like he starts because he's the fresh face, new signing, and then kind of fades out?
It's the latter, and I'll tell you why, Deion, because I have no faith in him that he can show that he can have a run of games. I've never seen him play 15 matches in a row.
Well, okay.
That matters. Like even 10. Like 10 is a stretch for him, bro. Like
we haven't seen any American besides Weston do that, to be honest. But like and Buddy on the left back.
Anton.
Yes. He's really fucking good. He's the one City's gonna get that I think like I'm gonna change my tone on City. But
do they need him though, Deion? Like, because if they get Gavardiol, like they're gonna go to it because they're gonna.
Gavardiol doesn't move me.
Yeah, but it's just next to Diaz. Like, damn. Like, how
first off, you need Gavardiol to move you for that Mikhail Faye comment to make sense. So, I needed to move you that Mikhail Faye, whatever. So we got Gavardiol has to move us for that comment to be true.
Or is that one's gonna be fine. I can spin that. I'm just be like, yeah, he stunk. That's why we got the better one for like a third for no money. I can spin that. That one's up in there. I can spin that whatever way I need to. He doesn't move me a ton. Not with what they lost, I guess. Like if they kept everybody and got Gavardiol, it's a much different tone, different subject.
Calvin Phillips is a done deal, right? Or is closer, like as close as it can be to Liverpool?
Oh, he's going to Liverpool?
Calvin Phillips.
Is he English?
They gotta actually complete themselves. No.
They gotta see if he is.
Does he claim England?
Yes.
He claims
That's
England,
why he's going to Liverpool. If he didn't, that boy would be Bundesliga League B.
We are going to challenge ourselves. Our first week of August pod, we're going to be, because we'll know more what Saudi is doing. Guys, they are signing some dudes, man. I know people may say,
they're about to sign a TV deal with the CW, apparently.
Oh, on the live shit. Might as well. Got the connect.
Yeah, so
hey, man.
Americans can watch.
We out here all American.
Hey, man, I'm trying to tell you, man. The Saudi hour with Charles and Deion about to be popping, bro.
Keep it city.
This shit gonna be.
Hashtag keep it city.
I mean, this deadass. The Saudi league gonna be better than the EPL in like next 5 to 10 years. It's too much money.
It just is about
like Did you hear what Ruben Neves said?
What did he say?
They asked him why he went, and he was like, to give my family the life they deserve.
Generational money, man.
And the thing is, they are overspending too, but they're overspending on quality players, not just dudes with the English flag next to their name.
Where's Lukaku playing next year?
Chelsea.
Fucking Austin FC.
I think he's gonna be on Chelsea.
He's not on. He's
I was on that like before he became a dumbass and over and.
Oh, you think he coming to Texas because of Veg?
No, I'm thinking no. I'm saying I thought he was gonna end up at Chelsea just because like they didn't have when you guys talked me into it last couple weeks and you were talking about how they were not gonna score goals. Well, they do have a goal scorer. Like,
Poch
must he hit?
ain't bringing them though, bro. He ain't bringing them on the tour.
There's a lot of people on tours and people that aren't on tours. Like, I think when it's all said and done, Lukaku will be with Chelsea. Harry Kane's in Australia. I'm not convinced he'll be with Tottenham per se. Like,
I could see Lukaku. They talking about him with Juve, but
They got it, but that's contingent on Dusan getting sold. So why? Yeah. So
why do they want to do that swap? I saw that and I was like, why would you swap?
It's not a swap though. It's not a
swap. It basically is.
Because Valovich is like PSG is hollering at him too though.
But they offered him to Chelsea, like for Lukaku. Like they offered that swap.
I don't know
like,
why
do they? What happened?
I don't know why they're not, because Lukaku just doesn't want to beat it. Like, I don't understand. Because
I understand like the extent of them wanting Lukaku. I don't understand why they don't want Dusan. That's what's confused. Like what happened?
My Vlahovic stock, I have all of that. I still have all my Vlahovic stock.
I wanted 2 years ago. I wanted Harry to City bring Vlahovic in.
Yeah, you sound like rough, bro. I don't know why he'd be great for. He's like exactly what Chelsea kind of needs.
Why does Juve not want him? I don't get it. Did something happen?
Like 23, right? 22, 23.
Nah, I think he's 27.
But they saying stuff. I don't know, man. But, I mean, anytime you put up, I don't know, 27. What do you put up? 27 goals for Fiorentina, like in the Serie A. That's
he's
crazy.
23,
bro. How is Chelsea not making this deal? It doesn't even make sense. This is what I'm talking about. I have no faith in these dudes.
Tottenham, Arsenal, and Man U all offered more money. Obviously, Man U didn't wind up with a striker the following window, but that January window 2 years ago, all three of them teams offered more money than they spent on Richarlison, Gabby Jesus, etc. to get Vlahovic and fucking it's Juve Farmers League over there.
If Arteta wasn't our manager, I think Vlahovic, I think he would have gone for. If we had made Champions League when we lost out to Tottenham, I think he should have.
You guys tried to get him. Yeah, you guys tried to get him in the run for Champions League though. So did we.
Right, and he said no. He didn't want to mess with us.
Well,
I mean, it is what it is.
It's because they're fucking farmers, brother. It's like when these teams trade their best players to like the Yankees and shit. Like that's all Serie A is. Like once you're really good, you go to Juve.
Yeah. Interesting times over there, man. I just don't get it. 23 years old, a dude who gives you what, close to 30 goals and assists combined a year, the last 2 years. Like,
it makes no sense, man.
Be great for Chelsea, really would.
Should be great for. I would take him.
I want Madrid. I mean, he'd start for Madrid at the 9 right now.
If you told me, if we're doing this podcast 3 weeks from now, Lukaku goes to Juve, Harry goes to Bayern, and we get Vlahovic for like half the price of Harry Kane.
Oh shit!
Sign me all the way up.
Yeah, top 4.
Yeah,
and then use the rest of the money on another midfielder.
Yeah, exactly, because now you can split the difference the way. By the way,
you could play Richarlison more in that way too, which I still have all the Richarlison stock in the world.
Last question. What's the worst signing?
Declan.
Philippe Coutinho or Kai Havertz?
Who was the first name?
Charles, no, was it 135 mil?
Who was the first name? I just didn't hear it. That's all.
Coutinho.
Oof.
I'd say Kai Havertz because Coutinho at least proved he was good.
130, but that's twice as much, though.
No, but Kai Havertz has been sold twice, so that's the point.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm gonna say Coutinho. That comment, he's been sold twice because I still think Arsenal could probably convince some team to get their money back a year from now. Same way Chelsea did.
130.
The Coutinho signing was understandable. I guess that's more where I'm at with it. It's like when he went for that price, he was very much worth that price.
Was Coleman?
He didn't live up to the price, but I mean, he was killing it at Liverpool.
Was Lucho or Coleman the manager? I don't want to mess up your timelines, just because that might
have been Valverde. That might have been Valverde.
That was during my shit of like I didn't know who was going.
That was either the end of Lucho or like Valverde.
Okay. Yeah, there were some dark times, Deion, between the managers we had in Madrid and Barca. It was nasty work, and why Simeone was at one time the best manager in La Liga for sure. 3 years ago, but
I think the better question is like we're signing Kai Havertz or Foden.
Or who?
Foden or Grealish? Which one went for 100?
Grealish went for 100.
Havertz or Grealish? That's not that big. I'd rather have Grealish in a heartbeat.
Oh, for sure. You had to pay it.
So would Ireland.
Oh man. All right, lasting thoughts. That was a good one, Charles. Go ahead, brother. Lasting thoughts, man.
I mean, Barca's at least. I'm calling it now. Barca's going to at least make it to the final 8. As I was thinking about that, I was thinking about my boy. Just having that midfield that we have. I'm calling it now. The left wing, we're going to have some goal scorers. Ansu's going to get back on his shit, and Ez Abdi's going to be one. And Deion will come on as going. I didn't know who Ez Abdi was, but he's cold. The Moroccan sensation. He's like Dembele. Like all he do is attack people on the wing. So I think that the width that they're going to give him on the end is going to be here. I do want to apologize to the people that watched all the way to this point for this Arsenal based podcast. We continue to have better days are ahead. The decimation. I will say I'm very excited. The simple fact, like I hope you clip it. Us like Deion, we did it. We turned the motherfuckers against each other. Like we turned Arsenal against each other. It was probably the most enjoyable 5 minutes I've had probably in a long time. So just the self-satisfaction I got to know that like they talk about how toxic we are in the group chat, and damn it, we made it happen.
Deion.
Hey yo.
Huh.
X got off the group. X got off this call and it just got foul. Party foul.
Yeah, it's out of control.
Party foul.
The Arsenal fans be in the comment section of them videos. That's how they come up with their fanfic. I'm piggyback off what Charles said. I thought it was hilarious. Like there was 2 people that had no idea what they were talking about, just yelling at each other. Talking about who the priority was, this and that. Screaming out a wall about how Havertz is going to do this and going to do that, but we haven't seen it. Declan's going to do this. Declan's going to do that, but we haven't seen it. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the season. Obviously, getting a little antsy at this point. Soccer off season feels way longer than like a hoop or football.
It's been 2 weeks since Nations League, but yeah.
No, but it's just like because the rumors of all this stuff, like the transfer window is so drawn out. You know what I mean? Versus like American sports, it's like free agency and stuff's like 2 days, and then then you just don't worry about it, and then all of a sudden like the regular season starts. Like
the window
everything's just so drawn out.
I agree. Yeah. The window should be short.
Now, the one thing that I do like that I laugh at is like because I can track, from the end of the season to when training starts. It's only maybe 4 weeks, and they'll come. I'm seeing all these reports like such and such gained 7 pounds of muscle. I'm like, when, dude? When? He was in fucking Capri for like 2 weeks.
Holiday.
Yeah, I feel that way about like every sport. When they're like, so and so gained 12 pounds of muscle in hoop, I'm like, no, he didn't. He fucking lost 20 pounds during the regular season because he's fucking playing every night. And then he just lifted and he just gained the weight back. So, like, I guess he did, but not really. He's going to turn that muscle into fat 2 weeks into the regular season.
Right.
It's just all that's going to happen. But, like, I don't know. It's going to be a fun season. Arsenal's going to be a lot worse, I think.
I love it. 38. I can't wait, man. Like this.
Man, it's we need just here we are. We're 3 weeks away, man. 3 weeks.
What's y'all's first game?
3 weeks from Friday. 9 a.m. for us at the crib. So
get ugly. Keeler's still on that team? Young Navas still in that?
Yeah, Kayla's still on there.
Yeah.
No.
I do got. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. This group chat, our group chat takes up way too much of my time in my life. I'm not gonna lie, like an exorbitant amount of like wanting to slander people. So yeah, I mean, to actually back that up with 7 a.m. results. I look forward to sending my slander at 7:15, knowing Deion's got like wait till Deion sees this shit. I look forward to it.
Yeah, tell you what I won't be doing this year. Won't be up at 4 for any Tottenham games. Not doing that again.
Gonna get us some goals though. At least Ange might give us some goals.
I'm not doing it. No, because last year I was doing it. I wake up at 4. By 4:15, we down 2-0. I can't do it no more. Can't do it no more. Not doing it.
I'm saying if we only play him once a week though, so if you don't see him, you don't get up for that game, you ain't gonna see him.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that might be the difference, man. Play once a week, but it depends on when the Barca game is, though. Because I have way more fun watching Barca. Maybe Ange will change that. But if Barca's playing at 9 or 10, I'd rather be like wake up at 8:30, refreshed, Red Bull and breakfast with the Barca game than up at 4. Then I gotta take a fucking nap before the Barca game and shit. You know what I mean? Barca's just a way more fun team to watch than honestly pretty much anybody in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
enjoyable football. You can say what you want to say about it, but it's enjoyable football.
Yeah, it's enjoyable football. And if I only got 2 or 3 hours in the day to watch football, like I'm not wasting that at 4 a.m. with Tottenham. It's just not world. It makes no sense.
3 weeks until, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks from Friday. Which will be fantastic. The EPL will be starting. The window closes in 30 days now. I actually think we should have that was my last thing thought, July 31st. I think everybody should have the window should be closing by July 31st. I don't like the window going almost to the 15th. That's just crazy to me. But it's gonna be fun. We will be ready just in case there's any big news with Mbappe or Kane. We're gonna try to do as many as possible in terms of the transfer news, just to make sure we're staying on top of the squads. Make sure y'all click the like button. Make sure you are subscribing to everything Multiplicity Media. And fellas, as always, the Barca boys, y'all are in action, man. Out on action a month from now, man. Y'all are the double, the trip, the double, the treble. Shoot, maybe the quad is on for y'all. Right now, y'all have the inside track at anything Spain right now.
If they don't, if as long as Madrid, like I saw the numbers with Madrid stuff, the numbers ain't great if they take on Mbappe. How much it would actually cost, and I think the greatest of, we won't speak on the Madrid on Flo's funny money that came up in a couple court cases lately.
Oh yeah.
No gunna over here. But without Mbappe, I feel pretty confident. If you guys get him, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be a little worried, but we'll see.
I'm gonna be honest, Mbappe, if he leaves, it's to Liverpool. I don't think any other team can come up with the money. Madrid, if they wait till January, I think it's Madrid. I think Mbappe wants Madrid. If it makes it beyond the next how many days left, ML? 26 until like Veterans Day when the season starts and the window or something. But if he's on PSG after this window, it's 100% Madrid. No one else has a shot. I think Liverpool's the only team with a shot right now, though.
I like that. I appreciate y'all checking out another episode of Kicking It With The Brothers. Y'all have a blessed one.